actually part of our ecosystem. It's just that they only eat mature, dry, old pine trees, and they're controlled by the cold. Well, what's happened in the late 1990s, we had 4 consecutive winters that were warmer than normal. Their population started to balloon, and because of over-management of the forest, we have more trees than we really should. And it's become less biodiverse. So the pine beetle populations exploded, and really we need fire and we need cold. Now up in Jasper, there's some of the forests are 80% dead, and we finally the last year before had a cold enough start to the winter, like minus 40s in November, and that wiped them out and started to rebalance it. If you look straight across here onto the range there is a big avalanche chute. Where you see no trees growing, it's almost always avalanche activity, of course. And avalanches build up. Of course, they all knot together, and it's very interesting, but it's not actually as complicated as one might think. They knot together the way, of course, snowflakes. You've all heard the old story that every snowflake's different. That's not true, because they found twins in Boulder, Colorado. But when it gets warmer, the classic flake turns into more of what you think of as just kind of an ice crystal, and that creates the fault that can cause for the whole block to slide. No, I just saw that you thought it was for fire prevention. Nope. Only around towns in the national parks would we clear for fire prevention. We want fires. And so this is actually a whole study they're doing because of the pine beetle expansion. And they do a ton of research in the parks here. Yep. So again, we're not cutting these forests for anything. And if there is a fire, you leave the trees standing there. And you do so, very importantly, because their roots hold your topsoil together. But look at all this gravel right down here, right? Hey, you're Robert, sorry. You're very welcome, yeah. So that's why the clearings are. And then only about 3% of Banff National Park. Stone bugs are cool. I'll tell you about those in a sec. Only about 3% of the parks are this montane or marshland. And that's why we don't have a lot of moose here. Although 2 people in 2 days have seen moose that I've talked to. But it's only that kind of low marshier land. Now, the story of the stone bugs, Lisa, were the train workers when they went down into really what we call the area around Field and Yoho now. And that's where they saw stone bugs. But the stone bugs, of course, were fossils. And so the start of the UNESCO Park Service we have here is the mighty Burgess Shale. And the Burgess Shale is really the proof of evolution on this planet. So if you need some proof, it's all there. I did at the airport 2 days ago have a very nice young man come and try and evangelize me. And we had a little bit of a debate, as you can imagine. Now, everyone, there is home. There is the town of Banff, down in the valley. If you can see, now it will be getting a little windy here. Oh, sorry, great big super chubby chipmunk just running along down there. But yeah, there's the town of Banff. Always gets a little windy up here, so hopefully you're still hearing me fine. The Banff Center, the Mountain University, which of course sets us apart from other mountain communities because it's not just simply a tourist town, although we'll break every record for visitation this year, I'm sure. There is Jocelyn Pré, bonjour. There in the distance, you'll see the ski runs of Mount Norquay, the closest ski area to Banff. And of course, if you need a bit of iconic imagery, there is the Banff Springs Hotel, which we argue, of course, is now Brazil. Bienvenidos. Your brother's working there. Is that right, Delphine? Oh, cool. Yeah. But there's the Banff Springs Hotel, of course, the granddaddy of all those Canadian Pacific hotels. And as William Van Horn said, if we can't export the scenery, we'll import the tourists, and the birthplace of modern tourism. Now, right down here, and of course, people took trains across Canada, and their goal after that, are you seeing the great big chipmunk right there? And they take the trains across they take a ship from London and then on through here 9 days, but they come and stay here, and then they get out to the coast. And back then they took a ship from there to Hong Kong, and the sun never set on the empire. Well, it did set, which is, good news for everyone who was under it. But that was the whole system that really paid for the trains that united and created Canada as a country. So pretty amazing out there. By the way, a little less interesting, but there's our industrial grounds.